Battlezone released originally on PlayStation VR and has stepped out of the virtual world and entered the digital one, I suppose, with Battlezone Gold Edition. And while the VR definitely enhanced sort of the immersiveness of it, taking that actually away from it, I was able to find a game that was incredibly fun. It was simple and arcadey, but it was an incredible amount of fun to actually explore and divulge into this game. So if you don't know what Battlezone, well, this version of Battlezone is you start campaigns on short, long, or medium length campaigns, and you go through short enough missions that only last a couple of minutes, and you are in the cockpit and you do things like take on waves of enemies, you defend, you take over different bases, and it all depends because every campaign is randomly generated, both in your objectives as well as the layout of the world, the maps, and then on top of that, the bosses you encounter. And the core gameplay of it is simple enough. You move with the left stick, you aim with the right, you have a cycle of weapons on the left hand side, you can hold 4 or 5, and then there's also an unlimited gun just in case you run out of all the special rockets or homing missiles. The objectives are on the right of the screen, you can see things, you can lock onto targets, all those sort of things. And it's very intuitive in a lot of ways. It's fast, like I said, missions take just a couple of minutes, but there are still remnants of the VR side of things that kind of can, I wouldn't say frustrate, but it can definitely diminish the experience just a little bit. The main thing about this is actually the UI. There is no UI, everything is on your ship. The only problem is you're focused so much on aiming and looking out of your cockpit view to see where enemies are to shoot them, that it's very hard to actually look down and see what is around you. Where in VR, like I said, you could move with the 2 sticks the same way, but you had that added element of being able to look around with your headset. And here, there's no dedicated way to just look around your cockpit, and it can end up being a little frustrating as you're sort of taking on enemies up in the air. You can't sort of look straight down to see, to make sure that you have the right weapon equipped or see how much of that ammo you have. You kind of got to, I don't know, you're going to not wrestle the controls, but you've got to do a little bit of extra effort to actually get it out and see certain aspects of your UI. But beyond that, like I said, the gameplay itself is really enjoyable. Like I said, it's quick and it's arcadey, and that definitely is its strength. It's very simple to jump in, go to a very short campaign, pick your difficulty level, and just go. But there is a reason for doing these things. It's not just sort of once you finish it, you're done with. As you go, you'll pick up blueprints of new weapons, and they will go up in level of marks, which means they add more power to them, more accuracy, other aspects like that. So it does have a roguelike element in the best way, in the sense that you rerun campaigns, but you may start on a short campaign on beginner or easy difficulty and just barely get through, where if you move up to medium or hard at the start, it's just not going to happen. Where here what happens is you run through a few short campaigns, you pick up a cool few new weapons, you can then take those weapons on with you then into your harder campaigns, and that sort of does add a lot to it. It's sort of, I think the core gameplay and the gunplay, the map layout, the visual style is like a simulation. It's all really nice. I played this on Xbox One X. It looked pretty damn fantastic. I saw no slowdown, no, like, it's a simple visuals and simple graphics, but they looked really crisp and clear. But like I said, it's it's a game that definitely feels like one you can jump into over and over again. And moving on up with different weapons and more powerful weapons, you can definitely feel that. And the overview map as well, you can set probes down so you can see what's on up ahead, so you can sort of strategize your way. It will take up some currency. That currency is used to buy new lives, so if you die within the mission, you can respawn a certain number of times depending on how many lives you have. It can also, like I said, let you use the new weapons that you've unlocked or upgrade further. But yeah, the campaign maps themselves, they're simple enough, they're fun enough. There's different types of levels that you go on to, but it was something I wasn't really thinking too much about in terms of, it was a VR game, it's made for VR. This game, if you didn't know it was on VR, it doesn't feel it, except for the UI being a little bit tough to see all the time. But other than that, it's a fantastic tank arcade shooter. that I highly recommend for anyone who is interested by this video or likes these types of games. I highly recommended it. It's a really well made game and it's a ton of fun.